Hello, today we are going to have our first lesson on matrix and its basics. What is matrix and what do we mean by it? So firstly, I'm going to say you that if we are to tell the definition of a matrix, matrix is arrangement of some elements in a rectangular array or a rectangular arrangement. Suppose it is a bracket in between square brackets or curly brackets. If some elements are arranged, I'm not giving the numbers of the elements or numbers because for better understanding, let these be some elements. If we arrange numbers in like this shape, in a rectangular shape, then this will be called a matrix. Now if we are to tell that, suppose we give them a straight brackets, we give numbers according to our wish, we are arranging them in a rectangular array, and so if I give it a name A equal to, then A will be a matrix arranged in a rectangular form. Now what are the basic aspects of matrix? Matrix generally forms with the help of rows and columns. So if we were to tell the definition of rows and columns, we know what rows and columns in general sense are, but in matrix, rows will be the horizontal elements. Look at this, the horizontal elements side by side, 1, 4 and 7, 1, 4 and 7. So these will be rows, these will be rows, these will be row, and the number of rows in this matrix are 3. If column, we have to tell about columns. Columns are those vertical lines. Look at this, up and down, vertical lines. 1, 2, 3 are both in column number 1. So this will be a column, this will be a column, and this will be a column. So there are 1, 2 and 3 columns. So we have got 3 rows, 3 columns. So 3 rows and 3 columns will make 3 into 3. That means the order of the matrix. If someone says you what is the order of the matrix A, you will say that it is 3 by 3, 3 by 3, because it has 3 rows and 3 columns. Remember that rows are those horizontal elements side by side, and columns are those up and down elements. Up and down elements are columns. Now after we have learned what is matrix and what is order of a matrix, let me tell you something very interesting. It should be square matrix. What does square matrix generally means? Okay, I erase this one to name it square matrix. We know that a square has all of its sides equal, or something like equal definition are known by squares. But a square matrix will be that matrix with the same number of rows and columns. I have previously known as the R by C. That means if 3 by 3, then 3 into 3. So if the rows and columns are the same in a matrix, suppose these are 1, number 2, number 3 columns, and these are 1, 2, 3 rows. So if it has got same number of columns and same number of rows, then we will call it a square matrix. We will call it a square matrix, a matrix consisting of a single row. Suppose if let me erase this. If I say that the matrix is consisting of just a single row, suppose 1, 2, 3, this can also be a matrix. It is arranged in a rectangular shape. If I say that it is a single row, it will be called a row matrix. If it has a single row, it will be called a row matrix. And if similarly, if it has only one column, suppose 1, 2, 3, then it will be called a column matrix. It will be called a column matrix or a column vector. A single column matrix or column vector. Now after we have learned what is matrix, what is order of a matrix, what is square matrix, let me show you another principal diagonal of a matrix. What is principal diagonal of a matrix? Principal diagonal of a matrix. Okay, Let me take you to that. The diagonal passing through the common element of the first row. Suppose this is square brackets. I give it number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if the definition of principal diagonal is diagonal passing through the common element, the diagonal passing through the common element of the first row, common element of the first row and the first column. So what is common in between the first row and first column? Which element is same in between first column and first row? It should be, or it is absolutely 1. So that diagonal passing through the common element of the first column and the first row is called principal diagonal. If I say that the diagonal passing through the first, then it should be 1, 5, 9. Or if I give it just a cross, then it would be the principal diagonal of the matrix. A principal diagonal of a matrix is very important aspect of matrix, because without this, future mathematical calculations cannot be known. So watch this carefully. We say that the common point is 1 of row and column, first row and first column, and then the diagonal passing through that 1 will be called principal diagonal. Okay, if someone asks you what is a diagonal matrix, I have taught at this point of the topic that it is principal diagonal, and diagonal matrix is a different one. A diagonal matrix is a square matrix. I have told you square matrix is the same rows and same columns. A square matrix with every element in the principal diagonal non-zero. Okay, so I draw another matrix. See that a square matrix with every element in the principal diagonal will be non-zero. Principal diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the principal diagonal. In the principal diagonal, all of the elements will be non-zero. Okay, it is non-zero. 1, 5, 9. They are non-zero. But in the other elements of that matrix would be 0. So I've got to erase those. Okay, I say that it would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0. So all would be 0 except those elements in the principal diagonal, and that type of matrix would be called diagonal matrix. For example I've given this x equal to this, would be see that all the elements of that matrix are 0 except those in the principal diagonal. What is principal diagonals? That the diagonal passing from the common element of the first row and the first column. So diagonal matrix, principal diagonal matrix, and what is order of a matrix are known to you. Another important and the last of the basic matrix topic I am going to show you is what is identity matrix. What is identity matrix? Identity matrix is really a very important topic to know for you. Identity matrix, let me write those. Identity matrix are matrix with every element in the principal diagonal is equal to 1. Okay, so if every element of the principal diagonal is equal to 1, I write those first and then I write the elements. Okay, principal diagonal would be 1 and other elements would be 0. So it would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0. So if we look at those carefully, we would see that the elements of the principal diagonal 1, 1, 1 would be, the elements of the principal diagonal would be 1, but other than that the elements of the matrix would be equal to 0. So that is square matrix where the principal diagonal would be equal to 1, but principal diagonal's elements would be equal to 1, each of the elements would be equal to 1, and other than that all the elements of that matrix will be equal to 0. And this type of matrix, if I say to y equal to this, it would be identity matrix. And generally identity matrix is defined by I subscript n. So it is identity matrix, and if anyone says null, you know null equal to 0. So null matrix would be that matrix where all the elements of the matrix would be equal to 0. See, if I say x equal to this, it would be x equal to null, or x equal to null matrix. At the basics, first basics, we have learned what is matrix, what is the order of a matrix, what is principal diagonal, what are principal diagonal elements, what is square matrix, what is identity matrix, and what is null matrix or zero matrix. In my next video I would show you what are addition and subtraction of matrices and how to do that, what are multiplication, and what are the rules of doing that. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe. Thank you.